Guys, I'm back today to pay homage to the comedian David A Arnold. Passed on September 7th. They said he died peacefully due to natural causes. That's what the reports were. I just wanted to kind of pay some homage to a man that I feel like, did things the right way in his business, in his comedy business. I try to learn as much as I can watching interviews and try to, interact with comedians when I do go to open mics, to see what I can learn, what I'm in for when, stepping into this business. Um, and I haven't heard anybody really when he was alive actually say any bad things about him. You can turn on his YouTube and you can see comedians beefing all the time. Um, his upbringing, he kind of explained it on Kevin Hart's comedy Gold Mines. He was talking about what kind of got him from point A to point B, which was the latest special he just released. It ain't for the week, which was a really good special too. It's on Netflix. You should check it out, guys. He's an amazing storyteller, and he has a bit in that special where he's kind of paying homage and doing an impersonation of three important people in his life: his stepfather, his father, and his grandfather. And it's a pretty powerful bit, and I think y'all should go watch it, especially like what makes it even crazy because he ended it off with his grandfather, and his grandfather passed, and he was reenacting him, talking like him, and everything. And the thing that made it so good was, the little jokes in it here and there. But he made it feel like you were actually watching his grandfather talk about him, as opposed to watching David. So, like I said, if you get the chance, guys, go watch it on Netflix. It ain't for the weak. He spoke a lot about when he was on Kevin Hart's podcast. I think him being homeless and on drugs. I think he had a drug problem when he first came out to California. It was, and a lot of things he had to do to overcome that, and get himself on the right path to be where he is. Like you seen how healthy he looked, and the way people spoke about him, the way he talked, the way he carried himself. You wouldn't kind of notice it, and that's why this is why I love the podcast era, because you can listen to some people's upbringing. A lot of people we look up to in this, a lot of celebrities we look up to, so to speak. And we always talk about not idolizing or looking up to celebrities because they're just like us, but look, it happens. So a lot of times when you look up to celebrities, you also forget that they're human. And hearing what they had to go through to get to that point, it it does something for me because it makes me realize, like, we're all gonna have to go through the ringer in life, whether you're trying to be something in this life or not. So, I'm saying it's not going to avoid anybody. And, like I said, I feel like he did everything right, because imagine having your own career. You're successful as a comedian. You're starting to see some success. You're starting to see some success as a writer. And then starting a comedy class, teaching other comedians. If you go to his website, I think you can get the link in his Instagram bio, and you can see all the comedians that he's helped. Some some you don't. Like, and it's just crazy that, so especially the ones that you don't know, like what they got their hands in, and what they're doing behind the scenes. Some of them are writers that are writing on some of our favorite shows. So it's just like, man, that takes a lot, and that takes a lot of, because you also get to think of it like, maybe he might have been loved, or not even loved, but just got the recognition he deserved prior to his passing. Because he got a lot of recognition. They say he was a comedian, he was a comics comic, but I'm saying like the the boom, the floodgates opening for him if he would have focused on himself more. And that says a lot about him to me, because he just like, listen, I'm good where I'm at, and I'm good where my trajectory is. But I feel like the more people I can help, the better it'll be for this comedy game. So hats off to you, man. Because I don't think a lot of people have it in them to worry about themselves and care for others as well. Like I said, we say about a family, but imagine, you getting good in this business and then just saying like, I'm gonna teach people how to come up with good material for themselves, how to start from ground zero, creating a bit, creating a joke, and then going from there so they can do it for themselves and tell their story. So that was pretty dope. My first time hearing about him though too, I'm a fan of Gary Owens. So when Gary Owens was doing the Get Some podcast, he had him as a guest, and I seen a couple of his jokes on his Chocolate Sundays clips, and he had one about his deaf sister. They called her having sex. So I seen him a couple times prior to that, and then watching him on Gary Owen's Get Some podcast, I was like, all right, I'm a fan of this guy now. Because we see clips of comedians all the time. They're funny, and then you watch them in an interview, and it's just like, nah, So like I said, he was able to kind of do it on the stage, but take that in interviews where he wasn't like making a fool out of himself, but he was just funny. He was funny. He was entertaining, and you got some gems from him. That's also another thing I look for in interviews as well too. So it's just like I said, man. Unfortunately, he's not here no more. My condolences to his family, his wife, and his daughters. But if we all gonna go, I wish I can, go peacefully. A lot of people die in very horrible ways. A lot of horrible ways to go. So, 54 is pretty young, very young. A lot of, we all think in a sports sense that once you turn 30, you're super old. I think once you turn 30, and I'm about to turn 30 in a couple of days, like adulthood really starts for you. Because I feel like your 20s is really like trial and error on steroids. Like you're gonna like as many things as I've tried to do, as some of y'all know that y'all been following me, as many things I've tried to do in this life, like I failed miserably at a lot of stuff. But I'm gonna keep trying. And I think I finally found my path and my footing. So that's why, I want to be as consistent with this as possible because we never know. Like he had plans to start his comedy courses back up, and I was trying to get into it before the pandemic. And then pandemic hits, he stopped it, and then as everything kind of got back open, he I think was either finished putting the finishing touches on the special, or he may have been getting done touring, whichever one was it. But he wasn't doing it, and then he had plans on starting back up. I think the 10th, from what I've read, and just like that. So rest in peace, man. Hell of a life, hell of a career, and hopefully one day I'll make that impact on, not only the comedy game, but, being able to say that I've been able to help others find their calling and hone that in order for them to be able to take care of their families as well, too, and just find their purpose in life and make it fulfill them. So, guys, rest in peace to a man. Say your condolences down in the comment section too, man. Like this video, put the notification bell on too, so you don't miss out on no content coming up. But yeah, guys, like if y'all was a fan of David A Arnold, man, tell me a good joke about him that how you kind of discovered Mr. Arnold. All right, man. We out. To the next time.